Alright, Exiles. So, I want to do a video about the Mercenary because there has been some drastic changes that's going to be happening that I want to talk to you guys about. There are some changes that's going to happen over the course of 2 or 3 days with the build, and I want to make sure that I address it now before I make those drastic changes and you guys are blindsided, because there are some changes that need to happen. I've been thinking about the build pretty heavily lately. I've been experimenting a lot, spending millions of gold to play around with it, and it's very clear that there's some problems with the current build that can only be addressed if we make some changes. So there's 2 major changes I want to talk about, so let's dive into it. The first one, and this is one that everyone can make a change for, is your defenses. So the problem I've been having with this build has been defense has not been the greatest, and the point investment to get defense in a good spot is going to take away from your damage. Now, the reason why defense is so bad is because we are playing armor evasion. Now, armor evasion typically is good when you have maximum life. Now, if you're familiar with Path of Exile 2 on how the changes happened, the only maximum life node available in Path of Exile 2 is this one singular node on the entire tree. This is the only node on the entire passive tree that has life. This means that if you want to play an armor evasion build, one of the major components of that build, which is life, is missing. On the other end, which is what we want to swap to, is energy shield. And the thing with energy shield, as you could probably tell, it is rampant on the tree. So the problem that we're having is we have armor and evasion, we have no life to complement it, and then we have tons of energy shield that run rampant, and that would be ideal defense for us. So the first thing that you guys should do is make a transition from armor evasion, if you are armor evasion, and transition into evasion energy shield. Now, the great thing about this is, and that's fortunate, is if you've been following my build, or you even followed some of the other character builds, is that a lot of times this type of builds, explosive shot builds, tend to take these nodes down here and come from this area anyway, so you need to grab some of this stuff anyway, so it's not that much of a detriment. And as you can probably tell, coming from here, it's only 8 points to go over to some of the energy shield stuff here, and there's a lot of it. And even the nodes that we cross by, movement speed, some flash stuff, attack speed, dex, projectile speed, these are all really good things. So 8 points coming over here to go get your energy shield is actually not a bad thing. So that's the fortunate thing. So the first thing you guys need to do is make a transition from armor evasion to evasion energy shield. I won't have a guide for that right now. I think Palstron, Mage Fist, and who else? There's another person who's playing an explosive shot build. They're all playing it Deadeye, I think. But I would recommend you go check out their recent videos. I don't know if Mage Fist did a recent video, but I know Palstron did one. A lot of you guys comment about that video. But yeah, anyway, go do that, make that change. Now, the next thing we need to talk about is going to be a little bit more jarring to some of you, because a lot of you are Gemling Legionnaires, and the next thing I want to do is I'm going to probably be making a change from Gemling Legionnaire to Witch Hunter. Now, the reason I came to this conclusion that we need to make this change is because it's clear to me that the Witch Hunter is a better ascendancy for the explosive shot build. Now, I want to be clear for those who are playing Gemling Legionnaire, if you don't have the time to level another Mercenary, then, this build will still work. But if we're talking about optimal min-maxing and being the best that it can be, I do feel like the Witch Hunter is going to be the best option for it. And I'll tell you how I draw this conclusion in a second. But yeah, you can continue to play a Witch Hunter, a Gemling Legionnaire, but I do think that from a best build standpoint, which I'm a YouTuber and I kind of have to give the best available information that I perceive as the best. If I knowingly know it's the best, I'm gonna do it. I'm not gonna actively try to give bad information. I know people think that YouTubers do that on purpose. A lot do, but I don't. I try to actively give good information. So even if the information is not exactly correct, I went in with the intent of it being good. So, and that's the reason why we're making this change, because I want to make sure that the information I'm giving is the best. And right now, I think that Gemling Legionnaire just doesn't fit that role for this. If this was a Grenadier or many other builds that can take advantage of what the Gemling Legionnaire bring to the table, then yes, I would use it. But right now, I don't think that's the case, and we're going to go over that now. So how did I come to this conclusion? Well, first off, looking at the Gemling Legionnaire and going over like his skills, what we're doing with the explosive shot, is we're typically using one skill for the most part. For example, everything we use here doesn't require multiple skill gems right now. The emergency reload doesn't use anything. The only thing that uses a double is scatter shot on my oil grenade, and then I use martial tempo on this and martial tempo on something else. But martial tempo doesn't even really need to be on that other thing. And so right now, as a Gemling Legionnaire, using gem study isn't giving me any value. Even if I got shock burst rounds, I could put something there, which this is not going to be a shock burst round build. I want to be very clear on that, because a lot of you say you have single target damage issues. That's just purely because you don't have a good bow or something. I'm not sure why you have that problem, but I have plenty of single target damage. I kill everything with a Gemling Legionnaire. So if you're a witch hunter, you should have no problem. You don't need shock burst. You have more than enough damage. But anyway, I don't need multiple gems. So gem study hasn't been valuable. Integrated efficiency, you can probably tell here, I still have one gem that I could use hypothetically if I didn't have that, and these three are not even that usable. And I could even drop the ballista and have a extra slot, because this is okay, but it's not like super amazing. So this hasn't been useful. When it comes to adaptive capabilities in general, I don't know in what practical use I would use this, unless I'm just playing a caster, which that's what I feel like this would be best for. But right now, this has not been anything useful for me. Like, I haven't used any casting spells, and only then would it be useful. But I just don't think it's that useful. I don't think attributes is that hard to get in this game, and this hasn't seemed like it had any value to me. Over here as well, enhanced effectiveness. While it's a good thing, the inherent bonuses are not that great. So intelligence is going to give me mana, and we're not playing around mana. Strength will be good for life, but with the changes we're going to be making anyway, we're going to build around energy shield anyway. So getting a bunch of strength doesn't feel that great either. You could do like something like this, which I was kind of leaning into, going brute strength and just getting damage off of that. And I even thought before the launch we were going to have like iron grip, which we don't. We do on a unique, which iron grip gives you damage based on your strength, but that's on the unique, and it's just a bunch of mess. I thought it would be in the game, at least it seemed it was going to be that way, but it's not a support gem, so you don't even get the benefits of iron grip. And dexterity gives accuracy, and you can do some accuracy shenanigans, but it's not enough to give you value. So this has no value on this build. It'd be good on the grenadier, but it doesn't have any value. The quality is fine, but like, what's the quality bringing? Cooldown reduction, recovery, damage against fully broken enemies. The stages is nice. You get one more stage of evasion, but I don't even think you don't even need to do that. You don't need the Gemling to do that. I don't even think it gives you another stage. That's corrupted. More attack speed, some ignite magnitude. Like, it doesn't do anything. Like, I'm just saying, 10 quality is not doing anything for this build. It's nice, but it's not doing much. And compare it to like something like this Witch Hunter, for example. Witch Hunter, Culling Strike is fucking doing something. Decimating Strike is doing something. Like, I'm taking Decimating Strike over 10% quality every day with this build. You know what I mean? Even like the Weapon Master, I'm taking that over quality. So, you know, it was not great. And then the next thing I was gonna get is +1 to skill levels. Like, what are we talking about here? You know, like, is that better than in my opinion, is that better than grabbing Decimating Strike, Culling Strike, AoE explosions that does 100% of the life? Like, is that better? I don't see that being better. And this actually solves for some of the issues that a lot of you have, which some of you have problems with single target. This can just erase 30% of their HP. This could call them. Like, this is like a 22 and I think I did the math. This is like a 22.5% damage like hit. Like, that's like that's pretty damn good. Like, that kills in maps. These three kill in maps. Everything dies And this kill unique's easy. You're already killing them pretty strong, but with this you're killing them even harder. And even more so, we're moving away from armor. So if I wanted to take obsessive rituals, which I'm not sure if I would take, we're moving away from that. We're building towards evasion and energy shield anyway. So like, you know what I mean? Do we care about what Gemini brings to the table? Not necessarily. I think a lot of this brings so much more value than what Gemini brings for this build. Now again, for my Gemini Legionnaires, if you want to continue to play this explosive shot build, I think it'll still be fine, but I think you would have to lean a little bit more towards like Palstrun's build than my build, because my build is going to be more focused on only shooting explosive shot. Like that's what I want to do with that build. That's what I want to accomplish. I don't want to pull out shock burst rounds and start shooting with that. That's not what I want to accomplish. And I think that doing it that way, going to Pal's build, would be better for maybe I don't even want to say that, because I don't think it's better than I don't think it's better than just rolling a witch hunter or playing it Deadeye. Like I think those are better options than just going to use Pal's build, because like what you're essentially trying to do with this build, if you play it that way, is you're trying to force this to be useful when you don't necessarily need it to be useful, if that makes sense. And I don't see how you use anything. I don't think you need any of this, and I don't think defense is that much that you need this. Now I thought this would be a much better or much sought out. I don't know what's up with the Gemini. He doesn't feel as strong as I thought he would be. Like the stats don't feel that great. The resistance I haven't felt a reason to use it. No way anyone would take that unless you're a Pepega or you're playing a caster. He feels like he's a caster more than he feels like he's a crossbow user. Like he's like a spellcaster or something. This feels like this enables spellcasters. Like the quality for spellcaster stuff is super good. The intelligence stacking, the mana stacking, super good. The extra resistance is fine. The gems for a caster is good. The extra skills is good for. He feels like a caster to me. Is what I think he is. I think this class feels like he should be a caster more than he should be a crossbow user. But I don't know. Maybe it's just balance issues. Anyway, this video is getting too long and ranty. Just want to make sure you guys know what I'm doing, because I do spend a lot of time thinking about this. Like I spend every single day thinking about this, and I don't want to come back 3 days later and be like, hey, by the way, we're playing it on the Witch Hunter and all my Gemini Legionnaires. Fuck you guys. I don't want to do that. So anyway, that's gonna be it for this, guys. Leave your comments. Maybe if you're a Gemini Legionnaire, give me a reason why I think it's worth staying, but I don't think it's worth it. I think just going Witch Hunter is better. Yeah. Anyway, thanks for watching. See you in the next one very soon. I need to go level Sork for item rarity reasons. Later.